Hare Hare. ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदामह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सागणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणा ललिता शिवशाखान्वितं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वंजाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कं करोति वाचालं पंगं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरोदिनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्री चैतन्येश्वरं हरे कृष्ण. So um, we had a wonderful weekend last week. Started that day and try to create awareness of how earth is suffering and how we need to adopt a simple lifestyle, to protect Mother Earth. Then we had a 15-hour kirtan, and many devotees came, saying it's such a wonderful festival actually. Devotees from New York came, Ram Rai Prabhu came. It's actually really, spiritual world manifested actually. People, devotees are jumping and dancing. The power of the holy name, sincere devotee sings. That's what happens. Ram Rai Prabhu is such a wonderful, sincere devotee. So then we had a balloon festival and 15-hour kirtan. Then Mother Malti came and she gave a Bhagavatam class and she gave a Sunday feast class, and we did Abhishek to Radha Gopi Janvala Pushpa Abhishek. So and then yesterday was Ekadasi. So Vaishnava means in a person, Prabhupada has asked, who is a guru? Addicted to Krishna. That I go. And devotee is also addicted to chanting Krishna. So name addicted to serving Krishna and devotees. What is there in this world otherwise? It's just a bogus thing, and this much happiness and this much suffering. Even devotees, I'm sure they know this. They've experienced. I don't know how many of you experienced it so far. A tiny happiness and so much of suffering. So if you have realized, the real happiness is in chanting of the holy names and, 20 years of youth and 40 years of old age. In between youth also there is disease, and death also there is, birth, old age, disease and death, more or less dukkhalem sashvata. A person who understands, this, sooner or later, if Krishna gives him intelligence, he or she will dedicate his life to serving Krishna wherever they are. A person who cannot understand, they live as though they would never die, and they die as though they never lived. Haribol. The one lecture I heard, the tiny pleasures in this world, they will bind you to this eternal suffering actually. What are the tiny pleasures meant for? Only to bind you to more suffering. Amazing. Maya is wonderful. Maya is really, really amazing. We are, we are addicted to enjoying sensory pleasures, birth after birth after birth. If you really analyze, like, tongue, it's 30 seconds, 40 seconds pleasure. Not more than that. What is the pleasure? Wagging of the tongue and pushing the food in the mouth. And it is a feeling, that's it. But the suffering it brings is wow. So many days and months and years of suffering. Any tiny pleasure of material world, and a sensual pleasure or mental pleasure. You know, when somebody goes through the agitation of envy, lust, anger, so much suffering. That's why Maya agitates you to, Maya impels you to do that, but Maya has no power to make you do it. I don't know how many of you realized it. Maya tempts you. You remember that experience? It's very good. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. But Maya cannot make you do it. She'll push you, but end of the day, you have to do it. That's why Rajogun, Tamagun, especially Rajogun, is the time you remember that pleasure. When you're in Sattvagun, situated in Sattvagun, you don't remember that. When you're transcendental, you don't remember these pleasures. Maya has very little power. But when you're alone, Maya will take, what is that? One time I showed it, I'll show you again. I'm just trying to. This is Sattvagun. This is Sattvagun. So then your consciousness lies down. You don't realize that. You're talking Prajalpa. Then tick, it'll come to Rajogun. Rajogun is the time Maya gets hold of you. I could not find out till this day. Actually, I found out conditioning. Somebody is so much addicted to sensual pleasures in the past. Now they become a devotee recently, not such a sincere, serious devotee. Maya takes him to more and more time. Prabhuji, you don't have so much taste for Krishna. All right, then why don't you try this? Simple sense enjoyment, why don't you try Gulab Jamun? Then why don't you try this pleasures that are available to you? Oh yeah. And you feel good. That good will make you suffer. You feel good for 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Bhakti Vikas Maharaj says raw feeling. You feel good. Only to bind you to 50 years of suffering. Hare Krishna. In Tamagun, your mouth, it will take you till here. Rajogun is lust, Tamagun is angry. It will incriminate you more. But of course, anger, nobody is happy. Tamagun pleasures, you become helpless. Tamagun, no pleasure actually. It's a pervert, like an anger. Envy. And the highest levels of Tamagun, suicide also. Because you become helpless. But Rajogun is the place where you try to derive pleasures, to victimize yourself into suffering. Haribol. Rajogun fixes you in bodily consciousness. Sattvagun tries to bring you out. You're listening or not?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
I am telling you this, but the power of Maya, believe me, I am honest with you. There's a fault line every day. But again, we got to pick up the beats and chant. Many times I wondered about a tiny thing. It gives probably 6 seconds happiness. But over a period of time, Prabhu, you have blocks in the heart. You have blocks now, your blockages, you need stents. You don't remember how much you enjoyed these things. That 7 seconds, 8 seconds, but heart blockages, I see, can you believe how wonderful it is to speak when somebody is listening, but how difficult it is. Krishna consciousness is difficult. Attaining self-realization is difficult. But that is a pathway. Anyway, Lord Chaitanya got married. So Nimai Pandit got married again. So Lakshmi Narayan, they were staying in Navadvip, unknown to anybody. But as his Supreme Lord is independent, Abhijna and Swarat, supremely independent and fully cognizant, he did not reveal his He did not reveal as a divinity yet. But now comes Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur, why not? Actually, in the entire Chaitanya Charitamrita, of course, we are discussing Chaitanya Bhagavatam. Lord Chaitanya, only one time he was, behaving in a very different way. He took his chadar, he begged, he cried. He was unsteady in behavior. Only when Haridas Thakur left the world. Wow, what a relationship. What is a sweet relationship that the devotee had with Krishna. That way, Lord Chaitanya's dealings very, very wonderful actually. Lord Chaitanya was begging, crying. That is Haridas Thakur. And one line I remember before we start today's thing. Haridas Thakur is a crust jewel of this universe. Today, devoid of the jewel, earth lost its glory. So earth's glory is not buildings. Raman, in Ayodhya, people are glorified. Lanka, buildings are glorified. Means what? When nobody is there, you glorify buildings. But real glory is the person who runs the show. In Ayodhya, all the people, citizens are glorified. Ministers are glorified. King is glorified. Dasharatha is glorified. Sumantra is glorified. The queens are glorified. Everyone is glorified. But when it comes to Lanka, you will glorify building Suvarna Lanka. Because, you don't have anybody to glorify their qualities. Hare Krishna. So, Haridas Thakur. Lord Chaitanya's devotees are all eternal liberated. Gaurangera Sangane Nitya Siddha Kurimani. So they're all eternal liberated souls. Pure devotees. Lord came, Parshads, he came with his associates to perform, perform the exhibition of Prema Bhakti, which world has never experienced. And that too, in a very easy way to practice. Okay, Prema Bhakti, but you have to go to forest to meditate, who will follow? Nobody will follow. But what is that? Chanting of the holy name. Haridas Thakur was born in Budhana. It's also called Budhari. So he was Brahma. Haridas Thakur was Brahma. And so when Brahma Vimohan Lila happened, he said, my Lord, I know you'll take birth in future. I want a birth. Where I don't become proud, but I remain humble, extremely humble. Practice the chanting of the holy names. So, what is that? So, Lord Chaitanya, devotees, some people, there are, first of all, no pious people. Somebody is there reciting Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, no Nam Sankirtan. One time, I was in Mayapur, and such an ecstatic kirtan. Amazing. Chandramauli Maharaj is standing. I said, Maharaj, what is this kirtan, Maharaj? Maharaj said, one devotee of Lord Chaitanya can inundate the whole world with the love of God. That is the power of Lord Chaitanya's associates. In fact, the power is there in all of us. But we need to be extremely sincere in our sadhana. No Vaishnava Prad, no criticism. And continue. Time is running out. And Lord Chaitanya picked us up. So, however, even though we may be fallen, Maya takes us for a ride. But again, wake up. Haribo, start chanting. So when devotees would come and chant, the neighbors say, why they're chanting so loudly? What is this? Kazi will become upset. So then there Haridas Thakur came to, what is that? Haridas Thakur would chant every day 300,000, names. You chant the 192 rounds every day. And because of this love, because he has attained the love of God, you chant the name all the time. Krishna, would dance on his tongue, the holy name. Even if you chant so many rounds, if our practices, if our heart is not pure, we cannot chant the holy name all the time. This is my experience actually. And I'm so sinful. I cannot chant all the time. So one time, one devotee said, he was serving Jayapadax Swami actually. So Maharaj was sleeping and he was chanting. Wow. Amazing. So Krishna is very happy. So he chants all the name. So what is that? So what is the Kali Yuga process? Nam Sankirtan. And whenever devotees would do the nice kirtan, they would say, hey, these guys, they're beggars, sir. These guys, they're beggars. I think they're chanting so loud. They want some alms. They want some food. So anyway, what is that? What is that? Wow. So Navdev, this time Haridas Thakur came to Navdev, personification of bhakti. And it is said, anybody who hears Haridas Thakur story, they will attain Krishna. So he came to Navdev after some time. What he did actually recently, when I went to India, I went to Fulia. Fulia was very close to Santipur. Very close to Santipur actually. Santipur, Advaitacharya and Haridas Thakur, they were actually good friends. And the disciples of the same spiritual master, Madhavendra Puri. So, but Haridas Thakur would always stay in the seclusion. So he came to live in, he started living in Fulia. And, this is when, what is that? So if you have two devotees, they come together and, what is that? They chant the Krishna's holy name, their tears flowing on if pure devotees. When the pure devotees come together, talk about Krishna, you see the spiritual world. Akinchandas Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj and Prabhupada meeting. Yeah? They talk about Krishna. Wow. The American devotees, they were listening. They couldn't understand anything. This is Bengali. But they saw the spiritual world, they said. So Haridas Thakur and Advaitacharya, they would discuss Krishna, they would chant the holy name and, why not? If you keep the fact, one is Sadasiva and Mahavishnu combined, another is Brahma, they're talking, so acting as very humble, pure devotees. But what else you see? That's why one should try to become a sincere devotee. It's very, very important. So anyway, what is that? You dance. What is it? This, Kakano Garjana Ati, Hunkara Kariya, Kakano Murchita Hoy, Takena Padiya. So sometimes you would loud, what is that? Devotees we cannot imagine, So Jayapadath Maharaj sometimes go Ranga, so it'll then, actually, yes, the whole universe would shake up, Actually, I used to live in Singapore, and one time Jayapataka Maharaj came. They took us to the border, Malaysia-Singapore border, and I was sitting in the front, and that is the first time I heard Haridas Thakur's story from him, actually. I think 99. So, what is that? He was giving class, I was sitting, suddenly, loud, he yelled. When he yelled, I was stunned. Wow. So anyway, the point is, devotees, that Lord Chaitanya came to teach Prema Bhakti, not just, here and there. So that is ecstasy. The people who are sensual, little food here, little sense enjoyment there, little, what is that? You know better than I do, actually. So all the Ashtasattva Ikara, tears would stand on hand, tears would cascade from his eyes, and hairs would stand, all the, the 8 symptoms they would manifest on his body. Then the Brahmanas, though he was from a Muslim family, the people, they respected him like anything. Seeing this wonderful changes his body, would usually go through when he would chant the holy name. But the nature of this world is what? People become envious. Even Brahma and Shiva, they would be happy to see Haridas Thakur chant. They would be happy to see Haridas Thakur. So anybody would see Haridas Thakur, they would chant the holy name. Ramra Prabhu made a nice point, actually. What is the power of Hare Krishna mantra? So one day Prabhupada was in Mauritius going with this Brahmananda Prabhu and other devotees. So a few drunkards came. They said, drunkard, fully drunk. Hare Krishna, they say, you imitate that. So like they're mocking. Then Brahmananda Prabhu asked Prabhupada, actually they're mocking at us. So where they will go? Will they go to hell? We are mocking at you, pure devotee. Prabhupada became grave and said, they're liberated. Wow, they're liberated. See, Prabhupada's faith on the holy name. They chanted Hare Krishna, they're liberated. They attained perfection. That 4 words, what is that? Somebody derides, if you deride, if you mock at, mockery, haram has ram in it, so that Muslim was liberated. Wow, what is the power of the holy name? If we understand the power of the holy name, how sincerely we chant the holy name, Hare Krishna. So the Kazi couldn't take it. He became so famous. That is his middle world. What is this middle world? There is somebody will be there. Adhibhautika misery has to come to everyone only, right? So your neighbor's dog, or sometimes a spouse only, adhibhautika misery. Or sometimes mosquitoes. So all the misery should come to us, right? Just because you became pure devotee. One time, so Srutikit Prabhu said mosquitoes were coming. They were not biting Prabhupada. So Srutikit Prabhu said, Prabhupada, you are a pure devotee. That's why these mosquitoes are coming, but they are not biting. Prabhupada said, Calcutta's mosquitoes are not like that. They don't discriminate. So one time, Prabhupada said, so there is a mosquito in the mosquito net, one mosquito entered. Prabhupada told, remove this mosquito. Take it out. Prabhupada didn't tell to kill the mosquito, because mosquito entered, Prabhupada said just push the mosquito out of the net. But after some time, Master started, trying to land on Prabhupada's body and trying to suck the blood. Prabhupada said, oh, now he's attacking, kill him. So because we have a birthright to defend, Prabhupada says that non-violence is only diplomacy. No. Prahlad Maharaj, Narsingh Chaturthi is coming. Prahlad Maharaj says, my Lord Narsingadev, very interesting, what he is telling Narsingadev. Vrishchika Sarpahatya. When envious entities like snakes and scorpions are killed, saints find happiness. My Lord, don't feel bad that you killed my father and you think I'll feel bad. No, I'm absolutely all right, my Lord. My father is a demon. He's like a snake. He's a pain in the neck. By killing him, you've done a good job. Wow. So one day, Srutigirtha got a phone call. Mr. Nair died. He told Prabhupada, Mr. Nair died. Prabhupada was happy. That's it. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada was happy. He's a snake, Prabhupada said. And it's a good fight. Jew fight, Prabhupada, it's a good fight. So, not that, devotees, Hiranyaksha, he was actually deriding Vama, Varaha, Lord Varaha he felt bad, he has feelings. But every time we say, what is impossible for Prabhupada, pure devotee, you're putting Prabhupada down. No, they have feelings, they work very, very hard. Now, they did not achieve just like the superficial. I thought, money will come, buildings will come. No, they worked so hard. Then that's why we discuss that as a Leela. Not that Varahadeva, Vamandeva, or that Hiranyaksha comes, he does like this, Vamandeva, or that this Hiranyaksha dies. No, there is no maja in that. There's a fight. He also derides the Lord. Oh, you amphibious feast, pick up the mace. It fell down, fight with me. And his heart pained. Same thing with Hiranyakashipu also. So anyway, the point is, so the Qazi didn't like it. Qazi didn't like it, and what he did, he complained to the governor. This is a Muslim guy, and he is chanting the Hindu names, Hindu gods' names. So being incited by the Qazi, the governor, summoned Haridas Thakur. She was arrested. He was arrested and put in prison. Haridas Thakur has lotus eyes, hands extending to the knees, beautiful personality. So when Haridas Thakur was put in prison, all the residents of prison came to see him. Because of his influence, this is Haridas Thakur. By his influence, the prostitute who came to transform, we'll see that she became a devotee. So when they saw him, when all these prisoners saw him, they all became ecstatic, tears were flowing from their eyes. So, they attained Krishna consciousness. Wow. So then, when Haridas Thakur said, they asked for a benediction. When they asked for benediction, when Haridas Thakur saw the ecstatic symptoms that are manifested on the bodies of the prisoners, Bhakta kari sabe kari lena namaskara, sabara hoile Krishna, bhaktira vikara, So everyone offered obeisances, they became ecstatic. Haridas Thakur mercifully smiled and said, Taka taka ekana achaha yena rupe gupta asirvada kari hasina kautuke. So when Haridas Thakur said, stay there, stay like that, they became upset. You are telling we should stay in the prison all the time? They were upset because if Haridas Thakur, anything he says will happen. He said, no. So then he gave the purport. You guys have become devotees. You have become free from 3 modes of material nature. You have ascended, you are on the platform of prema bhakti. You are becoming ecstatic. Stay there. I'm not telling you to stay in the prison. Within 3 days, you'll be out of the prison. Within 3 days, you'll be out of the prison. So what is important? Wherever you are, in the forest, at home, chant the holy name. Sukha dukkha bolina. So whether happiness or distress, chant the holy name. Harinam, chant the name of Hari, happiness or distress. Then there is no distress. Others think you are in distress, but you are in that ecstasy. So I never avoid inauspicious benedictions. Carefully listen. In 3 days you'll be out. You'll be released. But the goal of life is straight in the love of God. So you already, I could see that in the bodies. And always come together and do the Nam Sankirtan. Ei Nitya Krishna Namam Krishnera Chintana Sabha Meli Karite Takaha Anukshana. Always chant the Krishna's name. And come together and chant the holy name. So what is that? Yatra gayanti mad bhakta tatra tishtami narada. When my devotees come together and chant the holy name, Krishna says, I manifest there. Krishna is there. Arivo. Here you have no envy or trouble from others. So you can humbly chant and think of Krishna. Nobody is envying you. And you are also not envious of anybody because your position is where you are imprisoned. Hare Krishna. That way suffering is sometimes good. They are imprisoned, they don't envy others. They are very humble because nobody gives respect to the prisoners. One cannot achieve love for Krishna as long as he is engaged in sense gratification. Wow. Vishaya takite Krishna prema nahi haya. Vishayira dure Krishna janiha nishaya. Anybody who is standing on 2 boats, Krishna conscious boat and sense enjoyment boat, they cannot attain Krishna. Can anyone remember who said this? Similar lines in Bhagavatam.
Prahlad Maharaj told you?
No.
Rishabdev Prabhuji.
In that way, more or less, everyone says that, Actually, when Narad Muni saw the Paramatma Vishnu form from his heart, Vishnu manifested, he heard the voice. Those who are attached to the temporary pleasures of this material world cannot see me. I will reveal myself to you only to increase your attachment to me. I am sorry to tell you, you will not see me again. But try your best. So because when we enjoy senses, we'll be on the sensual platform. But you have to cross, then you have to go to mental platform, then you have to go to intellectual platform, you have to go to ego platform, false ego platform. Then above that is the soul. But always you are in the, Krishna is in the 5th floor and you're always at the 1st floor. When will you see Krishna? I'm talking to myself. Because some of you or many of you are young, so you can fight with the senses, I cannot. So, you should know for certain that Krishna is far away from such persons. 5th floor, Krishna. 1st floor, senses. 2nd floor is what? Mind. 3rd floor is intellect. 4th floor is ego, false ego. 5th floor is Krishna. Always we are on the sensual level. Where is Krishna? The mind that is absorbed in material enjoyment is a great disturbance. Attachment for family members is a binding rope of illusion that leads one to death. Actually, I read family, but here it is mentioned clearly. If by providence a fortunate person achieves the association of a devotee, he gives up his attachment for material enjoyment and worships Krishna. Daivakana Bhagyavan Sadhu Sangapaya Vishaya Avesha Chadi Krishnera Bhajaya. Including the nature of material enjoyment is that one makes the same mistake again and again and again. We go for tiny pleasure suffering, tiny pleasure suffering, tiny pleasure suffering. It will take it to the next life again, tiny pleasure suffering, tiny pleasure suffering. Wow. So, my dear gentlemen, I did not mean you to stay in the prison, and I don't give any wrong benedictions. May you all have a firm devotion for Krishna. Don't worry, I guarantee you in 3 days you'll be out. They were very happy. Then what happened? Then he was summoned to come before governor. Governor saw the effulgence of Haridas Thakur. And immediately he offered a seat to him. He's a prisoner, he's accused. But when he saw the effulgence, he offered him a seat. And my dear brother, why do you have this type of nature? You have taken such a high birth, Muslim family. As a Muslim, why are you chanting these Hindu gods' names? Krishna Maya, Vishnu Maya. There is only one God. There is only one God, but different names. Why are you chanting? Prabhupada says actually, why are you chanting Hindu gods' names? There's so many Muslims are converted, Hindus are converted to Muslim. They are chanting Quran, they are reciting Quran. If one Muslim chants Hindu gods, what is the problem? He says that, Prabhupada says that. No. Ego doesn't allow, right? We don't even eat rice that has been touched by Hindus. And why are you degrading yourself, born in a very high Muslim family? So you're transgressing the etiquette, rules and regulations. However, what are the wrong things you have done, reciting other gods' names? They can be counteracted by reciting Kalma, something like Quran. So, Swani Maya Mohitera Vakya Haridasa Ano Vishnu Maya Boli Haila Mahahasa. When Haridas Thakur heard, he said Vishnu Maya, and he started laughing. He started laughing and said, Sir, Supreme Lord is one without second. Different people call him different names. So that's pure. Supreme Lord sits in everyone's heart. He sits in everyone's heart as Paramatma. So Lord induces everyone to work in different ways. For somebody induces to work in one way, somebody induces another one to work in another way. But the Supreme Lord accepts. When you approach him with devotion, he accepts you. But if anyone is envious of his children, then he reacts. So very, very instructive words of Haridas Thakur. If you worship Krishna with devotion, he'll reciprocate with you. But if you become envious, he'll react. He'll retaliate. Everyone has a sweet will. Anyone can become anything. A Muslim can become a Brahmana can become Muslim. So, but I cannot give up chanting the holy name. The famous verse, what is that? So, that's because of the Lord influence, I chant this. When governor heard this, he was actually very satisfied. He was convinced. But the Qazi, envy, in this world there are two species that have enviousness. One is snake and another is human being. Snake can be charmed by singing some herbs. But when a human being becomes envious, he utilizes even scriptures to pursue his negative ends. So sad, actually. But the Qazi instigated the governor. No. If he does like this, so many people will become, so many Muslims will start, taking up Hinduism. No, we should be punished. That nobody would ever do this in future. What should he be punished? What punishment should be given to him? He should be beaten in 22 marketplaces. No? That's, then Haridas, I'm telling you, just give up. Hey, Harinam chodo. Recite Quran, accept your mistake, and come back. You'll be released. That is a famous verse. Khanda hai deha ye diya ye pran. Tabu ami vadane na chadi harinam. You cut my body into pieces, every piece will chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Kanda kori deko ye diya hai pran. Tabumi vadane na chadi bo harinam. I'll not give up. Even if you make my body into pieces, I'll not give up chanting. And every piece will chant Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna. One time I gave a lecture, actually, I spoke on this. So the body of Haridas Thakur is so much spiritualized, electrified by the power of the holy name. Every limb, every atom of the body chants the holy name. Hare Krishna. This metal body is temporary. So we should not, what is that? Why not we utilize it to attain the ultimate perfection of the life, rather than wasting time in the small materialistic pursuits? Then governor doesn't know what to do. What should we do now? He's telling he doesn't want to give up. Qazi said, punish him. 22 marketplaces. Hare Krishna. So if a Muslim gives up his religion and becomes Hindu, there is nothing wrong killing him. Kill him. So this sinful governor gave an order to punish Haridas Thakur in 22 marketplaces. What is this material world? Anybody, is there anyone who doesn't suffer in the material world? One day, actually, I went to India. I saw some tulsi tree, small plants. One dog went, raised the leg, started urinating on only tulsi. Wow. What a suffering tulsi goes through. And every day we pluck tulsi leaf. Tulsi plant is the hair of tulsi, actually. Imagine somebody pulls your hair every day. So tulsi is willing to go through that suffering. Because that is her happiness, because you offer that tulsi to Krishna. Nowadays, Kali Yuga, people use tulsi left and right for so many medicine things. They don't have any love for tulsi. They use it as a medicine. Ram came, Lord Ramchandra came, and Ravana took away Sita. Hare Krishna. And Shishupal is using all the bad words to Krishna, actually. Can you believe? Shishupal, that too, when he was to be coroner, he was even Agra Puja. Krishna, Maharaj was giving Agra Puja. It was authorized by Bhishma, proposed it, and everyone authorized it. Can you believe us using all the bad words? That's material world. Even Rishabdev, people were throwing stones at Rishabdev and Sukdev Goswami. What is this material world? Why one should try to become famous in this world of envy? In this present house, why should we be famous? That is illusion, actually. That's why Saraswati Thakur called this. The desire to become famous is like a boar dung, not pig stool. In the pig family, boar is the lowest. So that is the stool of the pig. Because pig eats stool, right? So why should we become, try to become, why should we have, retain the desire of becoming famous between all the people of envy? So what happened? Somebody said, hey, if you do that, punish Haridas Thakur, entire kingdom will be destroyed. He's a great saint. Somebody said, please, you can punish us, but not Haridas Thakur. Pure devotee. But no, they didn't listen. And then they dragged him. First marketplace, junction. Junction is people would come and see. This is what will happen if you chant Hare Krishna. To you, if you're a Muslim and if you give it up, this is what will happen, you'll be punished. They are beating Hare Krishna. Ei mata yavanera asesha prahare dukkana janmaya Hari Dasa Thakurere. They were beating him up, but by the mercy of Krishna, Haridas Thakur did not feel pain. By the mercy of Sita, when Ravana ordered to burn the tail of Hanuman, it didn't burn. He didn't have that. In fact, when Sita blessed, the tail in the fires appeared very cool. That is when Hanuman did the rest of the job. The big body, he made it small. And all the ropes fell down. Then he started jumping from one building to another building and he put all the buildings on fire. So, yes, because Mahatmanastamam Parada, Daivi Prakriti Masata, devotees, advanced devotees, they are under the influence of internal energy, Radharani. Then Haridas Thakur was praying for them. So he felt very sorry for the gods and said, my Lord, please, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing. Jesus Christ also prayed. They don't know what they're doing, forgive them. Haridas Thakur also prayed. These gods, forgive them, my Lord. Lord Chaitanya says in Mahaprakash Leela later, what is that? When they were beating you up in 22 marketplaces, I wanted to release Sudarshan Chakra and kill all the miscreants and destroy. But I did not have the power because of your prayers of forgiveness, asking for forgiveness on their behalf. So you were asking me to forgive them. I could not do anything. I could not kill them, but they were beating you up. I could not protect them. So what I did, I incarnated myself and I embraced you and took all the suffering from you. Suffering, I took the beatings and you are covered. Lord Chaitanya took out his chadar and see the marks. Wow. That's how Krishna protects. Boldly declare, Arjuna, my devotee will never perish. Kshapramo dharmatma sasachandra gajati konte pradhanahi nave bhakte pranashati. So they started beating one place after another place after another place. 20, nobody served more than 2 places, but Haridas Thakur, 22 places. He was beaten up, but he was fully satisfied. Sometimes he was smiling also. These gods were stunned. Wow, what is this? Then what is that? Yavanna sakala bole ohe Haridasa tomo haite ama sabar haibeke nasa. If you don't die, this Kazi will kill us. Although you have beaten you enough, still you are living. Please die. Haridas Thakur said, my being alive is actually dangerous to your lives. Don't worry, I'll die. And what Haridas Thakur did? Last time he chanted, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. He chanted. He died. Then he died. There is no breath at all in the body. Actually, Haridas Thakur entered Samadhi. In that Samadhi, there's not even a breathing. All the gods took the body, dead body. They thought he's dead, and they took the body and showed it to Kazi and governor. Governor said, give him burial. No. If you give him burial as a Muslim, he'll get Sadgati hobe. He'll have a next, higher destination. No. This guy is transgressed. He should not be given burial. Throw him in Ganga. Those days, anybody would die of snake bite, anybody who did wrong things, they would be thrown in Ganga. Actually, Dhanam means cremation is one of the samskaras of the body. The last samskara given to the body, actually. That time, even the soul leaves the body with subtle body. One of the 7 airs, secondary airs that stays in the body, actually. And I forgot that name. 5 primary airs, right? Pranapana, Samana, Vyanodana. These are 5 life airs. But there are 7 secondary airs. One thing stays, it's like Dhananjaya, some I forgot the names. One air stays in the body, actually. So anyway, what is that? They threw the body in Ganga, and they were happy because their work was successful. Tamogun, that's why, a person who is in Tamogun, whatever he does is not happy for, not good for him, not good for others. And Haridas Thakur is swept off in the current of Ganga, downstream. Then he woke up. Started chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And he came back. They were stunned. And the governor fell at his feet. Oh, you're Haridas. You're truly a saint. These mystic yogis, they're all bogus. You're really a man of perfection. If saints of your caliber, you forgive others, please forgive me. Please forgive me. And he asked for forgiveness. But then all the Brahmins, they were so happy that Haridas is back. They start chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Haridas Thakur body shone like gold. But what happened? All the perpetrators who punished him, they were all destroyed in few days. Krishna, if you offend Krishna, no problem, but devotees are offended Krishna. Then Haridas Thakur actually told the Brahmins, Ami Bhagavane Ninda Sunichi. I heard the offenses. Anybody who hears offense of Krishna and devotees, they'll incur sin. We should not hear the offense of, we should not, we should not hear the blasphemy of devotees or a blasphemy of Krishna. I deserve this punishment, Haridas Thakur said. Now I am purified. I deserve that. See, that is devotee. Tattenu kampam sushamikshmana munjana yevatmakartam vipakam hritva vaparbir vidadhan namaste jiveti yo muktipade sadabhak. Devotee, that should be one's mood. I deserve worse than this, but Krishna gave me only this much. Thank you, my Lord. Amazing. Haribol. That type of a person who has that type of mentality, he or she, for them, liberation is their birthright. Hare Krishna. That's when actually Haridas Thakur moved to Fulia. And what happened? One day, one snake charmer came. The snake charmer came and he was playing, on the, so It's a devotee actually. So he brought the snake out. And if you bring the snake out, it doesn't sit like this, right? You have to entertain the snake. So he started playing, his flute, whatever. Actually, he was describing the Krishna subduing Kaliya, he was telling. And he was playing on the flute, and the snake was like India, doing this. But Haridas Thakur came. Haridas Thakur comes that time and he sees what's happening. And when he heard his narration of Lord Krishna subduing Kaliya, Haridas Thakur became ecstatic when he heard this. And Haridas Thakur fainted. Tears were flowing from his body, and his whole body was filled with sweat. And devotees, people, Brahmins saw that. They were really, really, mesmerized, impressed. Amazing, Haribol! So Haridas Thakur, hearing Krishna's name and hearing Krishna's pastimes, and he would get into that type of state of ecstasy. Then, then what happened? When Brahmana, when he saw the respect Haridas Thakur was commanding because of these ecstasies, he came, he started rolling on the ground. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Then he started rolling on the ground at this snake charmer, I think Kaliya Krishnadas. He picked up stuck, started beating him. The other onlookers didn't understand what's happening. And that person became ecstatic, and you were so appreciative. Even this person is also becoming ecstatic. Why you are not appreciative? You are beating him. It is offense. He said, no, this guy is bogus. He is imitating these things for name and fame. So a genuine devotee can figure it out. If devotee can figure it out, why not Krishna, right? One time, so when baby was crying. Immediately mother came. Took the baby, the 4-year-old boy, and gave him a rasgulla. So boy was very happy that mother gave him rasgulla without asking also. So mother was busy, but she gave up everything and came for him. Next day, the boy suddenly remembered the taste of rasgulla. And yesterday he cried, mother gave rasgulla. So what he did, he started crying. Very interestingly, mother didn't come. He raised his voice. I'm sure everyone of us tried that in different ragas. And everyone tried in the childhood. For sure I tried. So mother was not coming. Yesterday, less than 1 minute, mother came and picked me up. Today, she is not even coming. What happened? Then finally, he went only. We went straight to the mother. Mother said, beta, what's happening? Kya chal raha hai? So, Mommy, yesterday I cried. You came and gave me rasgulla. Today, why are you not picking me up? He said, yesterday you cried for me. Today you're crying for rasgulla. Yesterday you cried for me. That is a genuine cry. Today you're crying for rasgulla. That's why now mother can figure it out very well. So that's why one should not be artificial. If our then when we cry for Krishna, it should be genuine. Problem is we always want different rasgullas from Krishna. I want that, I want this, I want this, I want that. Krishna says, all right. They will come. I know, on their own accord. But if you cry for Krishna, everything will come. One time when king made an announcement, tomorrow anything you want, I'll give it to you. Please come. Man, there was a big queue. So what do you want? 100 gold coins. Give it. One lady came. What do you want? She said, I want you to become my son. She said, stand here. Next. What do you want? I want 10 bags of grains. Give it to him. So another half an hour. Lady, what do you want? She said, I want you to become my son. So stay there. Next. So like, oh, this lady was waiting. It's evening. Everybody's done. King said, what do you want? No, you want grains? No, I want you to become my son. She's honest. She's all right. He told her, come inside. Because you want me as your son means you should become my mother. Means you will stay with me. Means whatever he has done, he's like, she is Rajmata now. Mother, she has become the mother of the king. So likewise, if he asks for something, we'll get it, but we don't get Krishna. But if you ask for Krishna, we'll get everything. How many of you understood? Right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So the point is, that is pure bhakti. Anya vilashadu sunyam jnana karmada anavratam anukulyena Krishna anusilanam bhakti rattama. Anya vilasha, there is no vilasha other than pleasing Krishna. We don't want jnana, we don't want karma. Karma bija, jnana bija, we want a bhakti lata bija. And a favorable disposal to Krishna. Anukulyena Krishna. Anusilanam. Receive training from previous acharyas. That is Uttam Bhakti. And follow the footsteps. So what we will do? Then one day what happened? I mean, there is a snake, there are 3-4 pastimes of Haridas Thakur. We'll continue next week. But thank you very much and very grateful. My obeisance, if I have spoken anything wrong, do excuse me as a humble servant. Namacharya Haridas Thakur, wow, how fortunate we are just to discuss this pastime. And anybody who discusses Haridas Thakur pastime, they will see Krishnadas Vrindavandas Thakur mentions in Chaitanya Bhagavatam. So we'll end it now.
Prabhuji, sorry. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yes.
Prabhuji, I was just wondering, is it mentioned anywhere how Haridas Thakur came in touch with Hari Nam? Like since he was born in a Muslim family, how did he come in contact with Hari Nam, Prabhuji?
I don't remember, but it's not there here. But actually, I'll tell you, Haridas Thakur, he was found by a Muslim, but not that he was born in the holy. He was not born in a Muslim family. No, like he's a Brahma, right? Like Radharani appears on the lotus and Vrishabhanu Maharaj picks her up from Yamuna. Likewise, Haridas Thakur, he was actually, I think he resumes himself as a baby boy, and he was found by he's picked up by a Muslim family and brought up in Muslim family. That's why he's regarded as Muslim, but Haridas Thakur is Brahma himself. Because of that, the consciousness is there for him. So he picked up holy name from Deva. Because that was Krishna's benediction for him. This is what I heard actually. So far I read it is not given in Chaitanya Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
But because they picked him up, he was regarded as Muslim, but no.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for sharing. Prabhuji, one more question. Sorry, can I ask, Prabhuji?
Mm-hmm.
Prabhuji, you said that little enjoyment will lead to a lot of suffering. I know you gave the example of gulab jamun, but can we understand it in other aspects of life as well? Like, how does I understand that theoretically that enjoyment binds us. It makes us more body conscious. But how does it lead to more suffering? I'm just trying to understand Prabhuji practically.
Okay. This world, every enjoyment, there is suffering embedded for sure. You like to eat chocolates, then you'll develop tooth problems. I'll get diabetes. Simple example I'll tell you. One day, this Samson and Delilah story. Samson was enjoying illicit sensual relationship with Delilah, but she wanted to hand him over to to the Palestinians. So he's a powerful. He was born by he came to this world by the blessings of God, according to Christian tradition. So he enjoyed a little bit sometime, I don't know, but they removed his eyes. If only he did not develop any association with her, his eyes would not have been poked. So in this world, like you are eating tiny gulab jamun, but you are putting this back in the body. This is a chemical at the end of the day, and you may not see immediately suffering, but it is causing the body to become old, and the suffering will come in future. Even though you don't see the suffering there and then, and the suffering will come. This whole body is designed. Actually, Chaitanya Bhagavatam, one time he wrote an article, the body is designed for suffering. I said, this is such a negative article, I thought. But when I read it, it's amazing. I have a request for you. Hold like this ear, like this. Did you anytime did you enjoy with your ear the last part of the ear, or this part of the ear, or this a temple? You don't enjoy. Did you anytime did you say, today my liver is enjoying, my pancreas are enjoying, my intestines are enjoying? Put your hand in the elbow. Anytime did you enjoy your elbow? Did you enjoy with the elbow? You touch your knee. And did your knee enjoy? Did your knee enjoy? No. Touch your feet, ankle, and the thigh bone. What enjoys, I'll tell you. Tongue, the nose for smell, ears and eyes, and skin, no doubt. These 5 things enjoy. But the rest of the part, all the parts, they give you suffering like anything. In other words, 95% of the parts of the body, they give you suffering. Only 5% of the 5 parts of the body, they give you happiness. So what is the conclusion? The mathematical progression, body is meant for suffering. Let me be honest with you. I am 50s now. Whenever we meet devotees, we talk, we have to carefully handle this body. Otherwise, what will happen? We do, because you'll be grounded. 20 years of happiness, we don't know how we enjoyed. 40 years of old age you have to go through. In between disease you have to go through. In between some adhibhautika, adhyatmika, adhidevika misery you have to go through. You're listening or not?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So a person, a sane man, only devotees can understand. What is that? Tongue will enjoy, but inside there are so many parts. They don't enjoy. The teeth won't enjoy. But when is small crack in the teeth, you go to the dentist. One time Rampaswamy was telling, painless dentistry. He said that is cheating. He saw the board. He saw the board and said painless dentistry, that is cheating. There is no dentistry that is painless. So you don't remember how much you enjoyed, but when they do it, you never say my guts are, my intestines are enjoying. But when a tiny problem goes there, you suffer like anything. Overall body is meant for suffering.
Yeah, Prabhuji brought a very important point, which I never knew before, that we have but limited senses to enjoy, but a lot of body parts to suffer from. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Lot. How many times your elbow was hit to the door or anything? Wow. And call any leg, any fracture happens, you'll be grounded for 6 months. I don't think anyone told me my leg enjoyed nicely. And believe me, the moment, especially if we live in cold countries, arthritis, joint pains. In other words, overall, mad body is meant for suffering. Oh, Krishna, why Krishna does it? Only to reduce your envy. Hey, you wake up in the youth, come to Krishna consciousness. Some people don't come. Then Krishna tells every day, every sunray comes and touches you, it is Krishna's call to you. Somebody will wake up at 30 years, somebody will wake up at 40 years, somebody will wake up at 50 years, somebody will wake up at 60 years. Body is giving trouble, who is behind it? Because you are not a controller, you cannot control. Somebody will become Krishna conscious when they have to wear diapers because, mama, this is a metal body. Metal body means it has an expiry date. Not that suddenly it expires, it starts failing. Then you have to see the result. Even if you're a multi-billionaire, it doesn't work. You're listening?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so
What
much.
is the body? So that's why a person who becomes a devotee in the youth, he doesn't abuse the body. Actually, one time Gondro said this. Non-devotees, they think they are this body and they abuse the body. Devotees, they know they are not this body and they abuse the body too. Because, I'm not this body, let me, late nights, I don't eat proper thing. No, that is also wrong. That's why last day also you have to chant your rounds. But in the case of a devotee, Krishna comes into the picture. Krishna gives exactly enough suffering that they become Krishna conscious. We do not know who will get what. And in your childhood, did you ever play this game? Everyone, all the children will sit in a circle, and you have to close your eyes. And when a child will drop a kerchief behind
Yes,
you,
Prabhuji.
before that guy comes, you have to pick it up, otherwise he'll start beating you up.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Likewise, kerchief is dropped. One kerchief is a disease, another kerchief is death. It will happen to everyone. Somebody little before, somebody more. What is the happiness in this world? I'm more happy. I'm happier than my sister. I'm happier than my brother. I'm in America. My brother makes money in rupees. I make in dollars. And the day everyone suffers. I'm sorry. This is our philosophy. Sometimes people say your philosophy is actually very depressive. No, it is not depressive. You can propose a chant and be happy. Chant and be happy, no doubt. So this suffering brings you to Krishna consciousness where you come to the platform of soul and you'll enjoy. But unless you are purified of 3 modes, no one can enjoy. That's why 11th canto Chaitanya Bhagavatam says, only 2 people are happy in this world. Who are those 2? Person who has transcended the bodily platform, Mahatma, pure devotee. And second one, who is crazy.
Either extremes.
Huh?
Either extremes.
Yes. Okay, you're 20 years senior devotee, don't you suffer? No. Or you're a guru, I'll tell you, the guru's sufferings, I know a lot actually. Because they take others' karma. As long as we harbor the impurities, everyone suffers. Some, of course. Something is, for somebody it's very visible, somebody it is not. But yes, if it impels us to chant the holy name, take shelter of the holy name, shelter of devotees, Bhagavatam, and enough is enough. Okay, when somebody dies, chapter closes. Only to open the new chapter. Again, sit in the womb of the mother, head down, feet up. 9 months. Imagine if they take birth of an animal like cow. That is even worse. Dukhalem Sashvatam. You cannot make it a Sukhalem Sashvatam. So, take shelter of Krishna. When everything is very good, appreciate Krishna. And be firmly Krishna conscious today, not tomorrow. I'm ending it now.
Thank you so much. Very great.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna,
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanat Pranam. Hare Krishna.